This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
The following podcast sometimes offers unusual solutions to usual problems. These solutions are meant for qualified agencies or individuals to put into action. And I'd be willing to bet that's not you. Listen, folks, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Neither should you. So, let's go have a laugh. Welcome to Unscrew It Up, where we offer differently twisted solutions to life's little problems. I'm Josh.
I'm Amanda.
And
why are you giggling?
I'm giggling because of the conversation we just had off mic that I'm going to bring on mic.
Okay.
I asked you if you were going to take the over or the under on how many times you yawn during this episode.
Yes.
And I set the even at 4.
Yeah,
So
it's probably going to be the
You're
over.
taking the
Yeah.
over. Okay.
I had a rough night.
Well, also, we record first thing in the morning usually.
Yes. So I have my coffee, but you don't let me drink my coffee on the mic because then
Don't
it's
say
just
I
slurping.
don't say I don't let you.
Josh is in charge of everything that I do.
God, that's so not true. If you were to go back and make a game of it, you would be able to easily detect the times where Amanda is drinking, usually while I'm talking.
What if you make that a drinking game?
A drinking game, take a drink every time Amanda does?
Yes.
Well, except that usually you're drinking coffee or water, right? You don't
When we
drink-
record in the morning.
Yes.
If we record in the evening, it's probably wine.
Oh, I see. This is why the evening recordings are so much better.
That's right.
Last week, we talked about unscrewing up the human body. And so I do recommend that if you've not listened to that yet, you go back and do that because it's a lot of fun. Any thoughts?
My body hurts even more since we talked about unscrewing it up last week. I don't know. I've done nothing to fix it. I'm just achy.
I do the opposite of fixing my body. I just abuse it more and more every day.
Just continue to break it.
I do. Although I will give you some credit because you've started to purchase healthier food for us.
Yes.
Which this week manifested itself in basically bringing an entire peach farm home.
I really have bought many, many peaches. To be fair, though, you texted me yesterday and while I was out shopping, and you said, turns out I like peaches. I've eaten a lot of them. Please buy more.
Right, but by more, you thought I said all in the store. Like an alert went out. Like the CDC is just announced that there's this weird shortage of peaches. CDC, by the way.
Why did the CDC?
Definitely. Well, they're not busy.
Right.
So today we're going to talk about unscrewing up the pool, and more like unscrewing up going to the pool. But before we do that, I've got an amazing idea for Wilson Technologies.
All right.
Now, I feel like I'm on a roll here.
Okay.
I think that last week I had an awesome idea for a new social media app. This week, I have a new idea for a piece of technology that will help me specifically and probably lots of parents. So let's hear from Wilson Technologies. We do technology. You just sit there. That's the new.
That's their new phrase.
New slogan. We've
New
been
slogan.
workshopping. What
Got
do you
it.
think?
I like it.
I have a problem where I don't like lots of noise. I don't
Yes.
like repetitive noise. I don't like being in a crowd of people and just having all that noise. I especially don't like trying to carry on conversations with like people in a crowded bar when the whole thing's just, I just don't like it. And in general, I feel like parents are so fed up with the world that if they had the option of just being able to pay attention to specific people, that they would choose that option if there was a way to block out other people. Now, you do that visually, with blinders or just closing your damn eyes. Like, I don't want to deal.
Yeah.
How about like what we hear? Well, we can put earplugs in, but then, that's no good because if our kids are fussing, we want to hear that. Or if
I don't want to hear that.
Well, but we need to hear that.
Okay,
How about that?
Need and want, two different things.
Yes, but please say that you understand that so that people don't call authorities on you.
I didn't say I don't need to hear it. I said I don't prefer to hear it.
I propose that they invent earbuds for parents. Well, it could be for anyone, but I'm thinking with the parent mind. I want to call it I Only Have Ears for You.
Oh, look how cute that is.
They're headphones that selectively filter out all of the noise except for the voice of your family. Now, before you say, what? They already have this technology. If I ever want to do transcripts of our podcast, which they say you should do for every episode, because they say that it's important. I do it every now and again. But there's this software company called Otter that you upload your audio file into, and they will transcribe it for you using AI. Not only that, they will identify the different speakers and call them speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. That technology is out there for them to be able to recognize specific voices. So all they have to do is to tie that AI into some headphones and real time selectively filter your environment so that the only voices or the only sounds that it lets through are the voices of your families, which we already know it can recognize. So it is the gate, right?
Sure.
For your ears. That would be such like luxury to me to be able to go through life and just hear what I need to hear, what I want to hear, and not the cacophony that's around us. Sometimes it might be necessary to turn off some of those other voices that are programmed in. So I can hit a little button and maybe I don't need to hear the 6-year-old whining for 30 minutes. Maybe I can turn that off. I know that he's safe. I don't need to hear it.
You can physically see him in the room. You just don't need to hear him whining.
I don't need to hear it. It's okay. Got it. Got the message. Got it. I Only Have Ears for You. Wilson Technologies. Get on it. What do you think, Amanda?
Well, that's what I was going to actually extend, but you went there. If you had an app for it and it had a filter button, so you could just check the voices that you needed to hear or wanted to hear at that moment. Because you're right. I don't need to hear 30 minutes of why screen time being over is ruining his life. And he's just sitting in the room saying, please, 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 which doesn't change anything. Still insists on saying it. But you could also uncheck me if I was talking to you about things you didn't want to talk about. So
that was the unspoken thing there. So you went ahead and put that on the table. So yes, I could do that as well.
Works both way, friends.
Well, I have a feeling
I can unfilter you too.
Right, but I feel like you already have that automatic filter in your head. So, but enough of this nonsense. Let us solve the problems of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wilsons will now unscrew it up. Going to the pool. I grew up with a pool. I lived in Miami, and a lot of people had pools. As of 2023, there are 10.7 million swimming pools in the United States. 36% of children and 15% of adults swim in a pool at least 6 times a year. Having a pool is great. Having a pool in the community is even better, which is what we have. Yes, because you don't have to maintain it. Love going to the pool, but it comes with certain things that are unpleasant. And we are here to make pool going very pleasant for everyone.
Now, this is on the top of our minds because the 6-year-old did not take swim lessons because he was, 2 and 3 during COVID and quarantine. We're just now getting into getting him lessons, but he is on his 2nd lesson and is now swimming.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. It's great. It's so great for him to exercise. It's great for us to get in and exercise because I noticed yesterday, it's not like I do lap swimming. Quite the contrary. I'm like a baby hippo, just slowly floating from end to end, but lots of benefits to being in a pool. So we're going to offer these solutions to pool going so that pool going is a lot more pleasant. And we're going to send it to a person or organization. They're going to take our ideas and they're going to flesh them out. They're going to make them happen. They're going to do the necessary research and then implementation for us. And this week, we've chosen a college, a university.
Okay.
Austin Peay State University.
Austin Peay?
You've heard of Austin Peay?
No. Is this an initial P? Is this P?
No, it's actually spelled
P-E-A?
P-E-A-Y, but it's
Okay.
Austin Peay.
Okay.
And I could think of nothing more appropriate than to get some Austin Peay in this pool situation.
What's wrong with you? Where is Austin Peay even located?
Don't know. Didn't read. Doesn't matter.
Just looked for something with the
We're
name
not
P
mailing
in it.
this. We're emailing this.
Okay,
Doesn't
got it.
matter where they are.
Got it.
All right. So I have 3 solutions. What do you have?
I have 3.
All right. Well, why don't you go first?
All right. I agree with you. Going to the pool it's good exercise. It's no impact, which it would be bad because right now my knee's hurting, and so I want to go walk, but my knee it hurts my knee more. And this 6-year-old really wants me to get in the water, but I am in not bathing suit shape right now, and so I'm not comfortable getting in the water, and I think that inhibits a lot of people, especially women, from getting in the pool with their families because they don't feel comfortable in their body. And my proposal for this is that we just do away with bathing suits. Right?
All right,
No,
baby.
not nakedness.
Yeah.
Nope. No, and we reinvent what is similar to the bathing costumes of the early 1900s, but really it's just I want to normalize wearing any clothes to the pool. You were saying to me yesterday, I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and you guys went to the pool, and you were saying, get in, and I was, well, I don't have any clothes that I can get in the pool with. And you said, basically any clothes you can get into the pool with. And this is where this idea came from. I think we need to normalize this. You wearing sweatpants and a hoodie? Go to the pool. You wearing a formal gown? Go to the pool. I mean, just wear clothes to the pool, and then I will feel better about not wearing a bathing suit because everybody will be wearing different things. Think about the clothing lines that could design specifically for pool going. Skin cancer is a problem. Let's cover more of our body to go to the pool.
I think it's a great idea. I just have some questions, if that's okay.
Okay.
How about the drowning situation?
Well, I mean,
Probably don't want to have a hoodie on in the pool.
you need to be a strong swimmer to wear a hoodie. You need to know your limits. Moo-moos. I could swim in moo-moos. It's fine. Do you want me to come to the pool? I need to be able to wear, jeans and a t-shirt.
Okay, but let's just be clear. You won't be swimming. No one's swimming in jeans.
Remember when I was pregnant with a 6-year-old and we had gone to a Disney resort with the 16-year-old for a dance competition, and I was very pregnant and very hot and very uncomfortable, and everybody was in the pool, and I was just in a maternity dress, and I was sitting there watching you all, and then finally I just walked over, speaking of baby hippo, and just sat in the pool in my maternity dress. This is what I need.
Okay, well, you can get in the pool with your winter parka and, all of the things, as long as you don't try to swim and don't go anywhere in the deep end where your head might go underwater. That's the thing.
Well, in our pool in our neighborhood, the deep end I can stand up in, so it's fine because it's not a deep end. It's like 4'9" is the deep end, and I am 5'3", so my eyes will be above the water. And then also, if
like
I don't,
an alligator.
If I don't want to get wet, I just wear a raincoat.
What?
If I don't want to get wet, my head wet. So another problem is I don't want to wash my hair when I get out of the pool because washing my hair dries it out, but chlorine can't stay in it. So I just wear the raincoat with the hood I'm giving. I understand this doesn't work physically or physiologically. No.
Not physically.
No, physics. I understand the physics of this does not
I think
work.
that you've confused pool with shower or something. You realize the water is there under you.
I know.
All right, we're moving on because that's not going through. All right. A big problem is pee in the pool.
That's why we're sending this to Austin Peay. Go ahead.
First of all, I want to clear something up. Urine indicator dye.
Oh yeah, God, how embarrassing would that be?
Okay, but you're familiar with it with this thing, right?
Yes.
What is it as you've heard it?
I've heard that it changes the color of the water when somebody pees in the pool around them, so that you then were like, oh, okay, everybody get out of the pool.
And what color did they tell you?
Like a dark blue, yeah?
Purple.
Purple,
Purple was what I always said. Now, obviously, there's no such thing as urine indicator dye.
Is there really not?
Are you kidding?
Is this just like an urban legend that I have believed my whole life?
A 2015 report from the National Swimming Pool Foundation, by the way, there's one of those.
Why aren't we sending this to them?
Call this, because they're busy like handling this myth, call this the most common pool myth of all time, with nearly half of Americans believing in this, right? Including half of this podcast.
You believed it too.
Like as a child for a little bit, but then like there are a few times where I just had to go and I'm like, okay, well that didn't happen.
Well, I don't think it happens in every pool. I think you have to add it to the pool.
No, Amanda, it doesn't exist. Rumors of the origin of this urine indicator dye go back at least as far as 1958.
Wow.
A 1985 biography of Orson Welles described him using such a dye as part of a prank in 1937.
Wow, almost 100 years of the pool pee dye.
So the pool pee dye does not exist.
You are actually shattering I'm really struggling with this, because is something that I believed in.
Was this foundational to you?
I mean, it's
next
up there
year
with
you're
Santa.
not going to believe in Santa or Jesus. Okay, but we got to fix this pee thing. Here's the thing. Yeah, sure, I've done it.
Yeah,
right?
I think everybody
I've
has.
done it. Have you done it?
Yet not as an adult.
Lies?
No, I'm telling you.
The lies you tell.
No, I won't even pee in the shower. I remember being absolutely just shocked in high school when I found out that people peed in the shower. I didn't know that was a thing. And then I was like hanging out with a bunch of friends, and the guys were all like, yeah, we pee in the shower. I'm like, well, but you're guys. That's what you do. And then my girlfriend was like, no, I pee in the shower too. I'm like, I still don't do it. I can't do it. It's not a thing I want. So I'm not going to pee in the pool as an adult. It's not a thing I've done.
I don't want to talk about this anymore, because you'll never get in our shower again if we talk about this more.
No, I know the 6-year-old pees in our shower.
Yes, the 6-year-old does. That's right. Let's just leave it at that. We need to, though, fix this idea of doing it in the pool, because I know that, I do it, right? But if it were easy to not do it, then I would do that. I'm always going to go towards the easier course of action.
He's such a highly motivated individual.
So I suggest that we have something like urine snorkels.
Oh,
like
God,
something,
like tubes that
something
you just swim over to?
that's attached, or maybe you swim over to it. You just actually changed my idea. I was going to just have a snorkel where the tube led somewhere, but it makes a lot more sense for there to be snorkels by the side of the pool that people can just walk up to, like an in-pool urinal, right?
Yes.
That they can just use and then go about their business.
But only the males can use this. Women can't. We can't just swim up to the side of the pool and pee. It's not a thing.
Okay, well then you need to have the snorkels then. So there would just be a tube that snakes out of the pool into like a reservoir, a container, or just like the tube goes underground, you never see it again. But there needs to be some sort of facility where we can handle our business in the pool. Now, I'm not suggesting that we handle number 2 in the pool. That's too much. But surely we can have the urine snorkel so that we can at least remove that bit. Now, the reality is that you do in the pool, it doesn't matter, right? It's not going to hurt you. Like
urine
swimming.
Is sterile unless you've got an infection.
I don't know if that's true. That also feels like another myth. Don't need to test it out. But the bottom line is I know that it's not a problem in the pool. It's just one of those things where I would probably feel better knowing that there's a facility to handle it so that people aren't doing it in the pool.
And aren't swallowing it?
Yeah. It's
because you swallow pool water.
It's a peace of mind thing more than anything else. And people are like, oh, I would be embarrassed to go up to it because then people know what I'm doing. I would be happy. That would be like confirmation that this is working and that there's no urine going into the... Oh, look, he's over at the urine snorkel. Great. Love that. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And have you ever had to get out of the pool and go to a bathroom and you're wet and the things are sticking to you? See, if you're wearing a muumuu, it doesn't matter. But I've had to do this with the 6-year-old, and he's freezing in the pool bathroom, and there's water everywhere. And yeah, so I support this idea. Are you aware of the mermaids at Weeki Wachee?
Yes, but other people probably aren't.
All right. Well,
Like they don't understand zero of the words that you just said.
well, but no, turns out there's a documentary on this somewhere because our friend Rachel Plant from 100 Things We Learned from Film was messaging me about it. And, have you heard of this place? She's been watching this documentary and now she wants to go. It's this little town a little bit south of here. And they are famous, apparently world famous, for their mermaids. And what this is, and this is a thing that I went to when I was young and it's still going on. They have trained swimmers and divers who are in mermaid costumes, and they have conditioned themselves to be able to hold their breath for a very long time. And so they do basically a stage show underwater of being mermaids. But there are tubes that hang down on the sides. So when they need to take a breath, they swim over, put the tube in their mouth, take a breath, and then come back. So that's basically that idea of this tube being this thing you swim over to. They're using it to stay alive. You're employing it as a vacuum, not a.
Oh, I don't
whatever.
know that I want it to be a vacuum. It's just the action of. Yeah,
Well, it's going to have to be.
Yeah,
a bit
you make it a
vacuumy.
vacuum, and other things are going to happen that are unpleasant. So let's move on. This.
Okay.
I want my unadulterated, literally, idea of the urine snorkel just to stay in its innocence. So next.
Okay. All right. My second one has also to do with the cleanliness of the pool. Growing up, your pool in Miami, did it have a screen cover
Yes.
or was it just out?
No. Most all of them had to have screen covers. This is ridiculous. You
Right.
can't. There's no way you can do that.
Because you're constantly, for those of you who don't live in Florida, you have to have a screen over your pool because you're constantly digging leaves and animals and bugs and things out of it. Well,
Animals like opossums and raccoons.
Yes, where James goes to get swim lessons, it's not covered, and she just had her pool pump break because a raccoon made a nest in the pump, but also then was taking an armadillo out of the pool. It's a thing. Animals, a thing.
Got it.
But our pool, when you deal with community pools or hotel pools, not usually covered by a screen, right? I watched you yesterday try to fish out many, many wasps. And so you had a cup, you poked a hole in the bottom, and you were using it to skim across, and then they'd fall back out. So I am proposing, we know there are things that can swim in the pool and can clean it, but then, I worry about the kids getting wrapped up in the cords and stuff. There's the big net things, but then you got to get out. I am proposing the water Zamboni.
A water bony.
A water bony.
Oh, no, that's...
That's going back to your thing.
No.
A pool Zamboni, okay?
Okay.
And so it's just like when you're skating and ice skating, everybody has to get off the ice so the Zamboni comes through and cleans the ice, makes it smooth, and then you get back on. However often, 30 minutes, everybody out of the pool Zamboni comes through, does its couple laps, picks up all of the dirt and the trash, and then it goes away, and then everybody's in clean pool again. And maybe it can even I don't know, somehow take the pee out if we don't put forward the pee snorkel. I thought you would be much more impressed with my pool Zamboni.
Well, I'm just trying to figure it out. Can you not figure out a way for this to happen so that people don't get out of the pool?
No, you'll get run over unless you play like Marco Polo with the pool Zamboni, and then you've turned it into a fun game.
Now, that might be a fun game, yeah.
I think this is brilliant, and this is what made me want to do the pool episode, because I was thinking about
This is it.
while I was watching you try to get these wasps out of the pool yesterday, that we need something that will clean the pool, that we don't have to go get the giant, we've all had the giant net, and it's got the long pole in the bottom, and it's really not, it's unwieldy, and it's just not successul.
I agree with you that we need to have something that happens on the surface, because we do have these pool machines, these pool vacuum cleaners, or whatever you call them, that go along the bottom. And we've had any number of those, growing up, we had different versions of, but I've not seen anything that works on the top.
Yeah. So maybe it's not an actual machine Zamboni, but maybe it's just you have built into, one end of the pool. You know how you see those TVs that'll just come up from a furniture or something and slide back down? So it's a big net that comes up, and then it just moves from one side to the other of the pool, like on a track, right, on either side, and it pushes all of the things into a reservoir or something to push it out, and then it stays over there, and then 30 minutes later it goes back. So it's just going back. It's like a tram. It's just going back and forth.
I like that idea. I would amend that to say that
Yeah.
the net need only be like 6 inches because you're just getting the top. People don't have to get out of the pool. It's just that this
Swim
thing,
under it.
yeah, this thing goes by. You duck under the water right quick. It scoops the stuff up. It continues along the surface, and then it's at the other side.
Okay.
And then yeah, I like that, the idea of a net/Zamboni. I mean, I'll give that to you. Maybe a Zamboni can be fun. Maybe there's something like a game we can do with that. Okay. My next one. Oftentimes, pool water is too cold initially as you get in. And especially as a gentleman, as I'm lowering myself into the water, there's a particular spot where I just want to stop.
Right.
And I want to get out, but I'm committed, so I just got to do the plunge. I don't want that. I want to gradually ease into the temperature change. So I'm proposing a giant bag filled with warm water that you can get into and then be lowered into the pool. And the imagery I'm going for here is like, when you take a goldfish and you take it from one tank to the other tank, and they say that you should leave it in the new tank with its old water for a little bit. Right,
so it can adapt to the new water.
Right. So I just want that for me so I can adapt to the temperature change.
Got it.
So if the bag lowers down, right, and I'm in the bag, and slowly, let's say the bag just kind of falls away, and I've got that warm water, and then that warm water will slowly mix with the other water, and I will acclimate. My two boys, that are down below will not be shocked. There won't be shrinkage.
Right.
And then everyone will be happy as Larry.
And it's a reusable bag, right? Because we're not going to, we care about the environment. All right. This is a good idea because I don't like getting in a cold pool either.
So I want my goldfish bag.
It's just the imagery is really great. All right. Here's my last one. The other thing that's really bothersome when it's time to go to the pool is dealing with personalities and people that we don't necessarily want to be around, wouldn't choose to be around, but we're stuck in this, 50 feet by whatever the length of the pool is, right? And so you're much closer to people. Things that are problems in pools, really drunk people. You got to worry about them drowning, but also they're super obnoxious. People who play music really loudly that,
I don't like that.
We don't like. People who, like we experienced yesterday, just flat out ignore you and don't want to acknowledge that you're there. And
now, wait a second. How is that not preferable?
Well, that's true, but you said hello to this gentleman and he just looked at you and refused to say anything.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. So that did kind of, but I think maybe that's on me for feeling socially awkward in that situation and feeling the need to acknowledge this person's presence. If I'd have just let him alone, none of that would have happened. I don't know. I'm a little iffy on that interaction.
Okay, but that's fine. And then the thing that I think is the most obnoxious is when kids are in pools and they take up the whole length of the pool to play ball or, and the parents are playing, but, our kids are just trying to swim back and forth. And so I propose, now there are places where they'll have an adult pool and a family pool, which is better. However, you're still dealing with, as a family, these people who take up the whole pool.
Sure.
Or as an adult, the obnoxious people. There needs to be what type of pool goer are you pre-assessment? And there needs to be sections for the really drunk people to be together, a place for just fight it out for space to throw the ball around. I just want my child to practice swimming. There needs to be some way of filtering personality types and activity level that you want at the pool so that therefore everybody can, because I get so annoyed. Like when the 6-year-old's just trying to practice swimming and you've got obnoxious like middle school boys who are just, throwing a ball around and knocking him around, and I don't like it. I need a pre-assessment so we can all go places where we can still all do the thing that we love, but it doesn't have to impact the people around us.
I agree. However, now we have multiple pools that we need to have.
Or it could just be one giant pool sectioned off.
Okay.
You've seen those Olympic pools that have the lane markers?
Yes.
You could do that.
We're going to have to combine people groups, right? So we have this so immediately, I think that the drunk people section and the middle school boys section should be the same section because they basically act the same.
That's true.
I mean, of course, they're not allowed to, you can't feed the middle school boys alcohol, so that's understood. But behavior-wise, same thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So we're going to have to look at the different things, look at the different categories, and combine. Because we cannot have these massive pools. Can't happen.
Okay. All right,
I'm
that's fair
for
enough.
the idea. My last idea is, of course, the most important thing when we're talking about swimming pools, and that's the ability to swim.
Okay.
Did you know that in 2021, 37% of adults lacked basic swimming ability?
It does not surprise me.
Having grown up in South Florida, that's bonkers to me because, again, the proliferation of pools and pool culture. Maybe in other states, it's different.
Yeah, or there are people who grew up in my generation where swim lessons weren't a thing, but I learned to swim by my brothers.
This is terrible.
One brother standing on one side of the pool because my brothers were older than me, 14 and 18 years older than me. The one that was 18 years older than me lived in an apartment complex pool. So I'm standing there with the one brother who's 14 years older than me, and he's saying, "It's okay, jump in, I'll go with you." And I jump in and he doesn't go with me, and they say, "Now swim." This is how I learned to swim. So therefore, I always say, I don't know how to swim, I know how to not drown.
Yes.
I can't freestyle, not a thing. I know how to not drown.
Now, I don't know how many of these people who know how to not drown, but it does say 37% lack basic swimming skills.
Okay.
So
I probably have basic swimming skills.
I want these people to be able to enjoy to swim. Like,
Yes.
what if they didn't happen to grow up and learn how to swim? They're taking a trip, they're in a hotel, nice pool. Hey, I'd love to do that. Can't do it. Now, this will also solve the problem. My solution to this, and I'm thinking of the men right now, although I'm sure that we can think of an equivalent for others as well. But I'm thinking with a man's mind because I'm a man. And one of the things that bothers me sometimes is, as you were saying, it's the condition that my body is in. I mean, sure, I would love to look like Schwarzenegger or whatever. So
That's where you went.
That's the first thing I could think of. I propose you know how they have those floaty vests?
Mm-hmm.
We used to have one for the 6-year-olds. It's a vest that you put on. It's made of flotation material. I propose that we make one of those for men that is a muscle suit.
Oh, okay.
And so all of the muscles that are in the suit are actually flotation pads. And you can have it like obviously you want your arms as well, not just a vest. And so you put that on, you look great, you look amazing, and you can float, you can swim. Bam, 2 problems solved right there.
For women, you would just have larger flotation breasts.
I mean, you're saying that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that.
Yeah.
You're saying that. I would probably enjoy that, but I'm not saying that. It'd be amazing. You'd have men with muscle suits and women with breast suits, and they get together and then they discover the truth. It's a weird form of catfishing.
Right? But
in the water. Catfishing, real catfishing in the water.
But the women's would have to be counteracted with booty too, because otherwise you would just fall forward with the flotation and you'd just be bouncing on the water with just your chest.
Well, no, you'd be floating on your back. What are you talking about?
No, if the flotation is your front chest area,
as opposed to your back chest, sure, go ahead.
You wouldn't be on your back. I mean, I guess you would. I guess you could. But also,
you're saying that people. You're saying. What are you saying? That people would have the boob suits, right? They would get in and they would immediately go face down into the water, and this is how they figured that they could float. What are you thinking?
I don't know.
We should move on.
All right.
We have 6 things here, which means we need to get rid of one of them. I think I already know which one.
You want to get rid of my wear whatever clothes you want to the pool.
I just don't think
people
it's
will
safe.
drown.
People will drown. Don't turn your nose up at that. People will drown.
All right, fine.
It's not going to make people feel good about swimming if they go to swim and they drown.
Okay, but see, that's my biggest problem is I don't want to be in revealing clothes at the pool. So
okay, but then you get a muscle suit or a
boob suit.
A boob suit. Well, you don't need a boob suit, but you get a muscle suit or something. You get something.
Or I just stick to Noom and get in better shape and my heart's healthy and whatever.
All right, good. So this is what we have then. You go to a pool. Let's say it's a public pool and you're very excited. Well, first, you fill in your pre-assessment, right? To determine what section of the pool you're allowed to go in. Then you put on your pool suit. Either it's a muscle suit or it's a boob and booty suit, as you would suggest.
Yeah, because then you'll just be upright in the pool.
Then you climb in your goldfish bag of warm water and you're gently lowered into the pool. And then that warm water is probably going to make you have to pee because that's what warm water does. So you go over to your urine snorkel. And then every now and again, a net will sweep the surface of the pool, getting rid of all of the bugs and the leaves. And what a delightful experience.
Well, we've unscrewed it up. We're done. We fixed all the things.
Amanda, we have listener mail.
All right.
Dear Amanda and Josh, I have had a home security system for a while now, and I pay for monitoring, but I'm not sure it's really being monitored. I've had a few instances where the alarm has gone off, but no one at the alarm company has ever contacted me to see if I'm safe. What should I do? Signed, Scared in South Carolina.
Oh, I don't know. Do you have an answer for this person?
I know that we have an alarm system that I'm not going to name, and they didn't name it in here, that I'm not sure, like it's gone off at least once where I would have expected that they call us and they never did.
But the last time it went off, they did call us. So maybe they were sleeping for a bit, but now they're paying attention.
Okay, but do you think that they should keep this security system? They should try another one? What do you think?
I think they should test it out.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, but can't you get fined or something? Isn't there a fine?
If it's a false alarm.
Wouldn't that be a false alarm?
Not if you...
All right, Scared in South Carolina.
I don't
Amanda
know.
wants you to lie. So we're going to...
I'm like, who can you pay to break in your house?
Oh, now I think that's serious jail time there after a court and judgment by your peers.
Maybe I shouldn't be the one that solves this. Go ahead.
You know who loves to look at things that aren't their business and to comment on things when they aren't asked to comment and raise a ruckus about every little thing?
Trolls on Twitter?
The internet.
Okay.
The internet in general.
Same thing.
So why don't we start a company based on this idea from Scared in South Carolina where we have it be a social media thing?
Just people watching your cameras?
Well, yeah, but obviously it wouldn't be the interior cameras. Okay. It'd be your outdoor cameras. And whenever there's an alarm, it goes up on your social channel, right? And you know that there's millions of people online at any given point. So this thing will always be monitored. And man, people would they would be falling all over themselves, like wanting to report things and feel like they've got a part in this, and
like they're the neighborhood watch from Nebraska to South Carolina.
Yeah. I think that is a great social media app that will also help keep people safe. Imagine the comment section, like, "Oh, did someone call 911? What do you think this guy's after? Oh, look at that hat. He should not have worn that hat. It doesn't even match his shoes." I think this is a winning idea here.
Well, the problem with this is, though, that you're putting the exterior of your home out for the world to see, and there are some real creepy people in the world, and so they could, do the opposite of what this is and then start stalking you based on the clues of your neighborhood and surrounding environment.
Well, you could set up your camera, so let's say, I'm thinking about our setup, where it points towards the door, right, the point of entry, right, but it doesn't have any other identifying features.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like, they don't need to know where you are. They just need to know, oh, there's a door. Oh, there's a dude whose shoes and hat doesn't match trying to break in. We need to report this.
Yeah.
That's all they need.
Okay.
So they can be very small fields of view for the camera. Man, that would automatically be the number one app.
I think you're right. People are that nosy.
Yeah. So there you go. Man, damn it. You know how rich I would be? We have 16, 17, 18 episodes. If we just mined this podcast for ideas, I would be the next Elon Musk, except like a good guy.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Don't let all of the fame and money go to your head.
I'll try not to with my earbuds that tune you out. All right, Scared in South Carolina. Hopefully that helped you. Sure it did. All right, Amanda, I think we've unscrewed up everything that we could
that's all
unscrew
I
up
got.
for today. Man, all these winning ideas. It's amazing. We are a part of the Whole Care Network. The WholeCareNetwork.com is a place that you can go not only to listen to a bunch of really great podcasts, but to find materials and education for those who are caregivers, because that's what the Whole Care Network is all about. Caring for people who care for people. Check out the WholeCareNetwork.com and avail yourself of their resources. So, until next time, just remember, whatever you do,
Don't screw it up.
bye.
Bye.